Matt Lenihan Boxing Social in association with Empire Fight Store. We're here, Josh Warrington. Josh, I know you've no fight date, which is obviously very frustrating for yourself, but you're still in the gym. What's very evident as well, before we start talking about potential fights, watch you and obviously your dad go through the motions. Even at the age you're at now, everything you've achieved, I'm not talking like you're like 50, but you're still evidently learning, still trying to work on things to improve yourself at this stage. You've still got that buzz for boxing.
Yeah. I'll be honest with you, Matt. You've seen a good session today. There is moments when I'm at home and you're thinking, what am I doing it for? But as soon as I come to the gym, then everything switches on. And if you've made the effort to go to the gym, then you've got to have to put the work in. And throughout the years, there's been moments when we've come away from the fights. What works well, right, that works well, but what didn't really work well, that didn't work well. So we need to make some adjustments there, and we need to work on that. So you start working on a certain subject or a certain part of your game, and all of a sudden that takes you on a downward spiral. And you know, fighters will tell you this: you start working on one thing, you get a little bit excited, and then before you know it, you might come away from some of the basic stuff. I've been doing it, I think 26 years I've been boxing, like, you know, from being a kid all the way through. So it's a long time, and, you know, sometimes there's nothing wrong with going back to your basics and the simple stuff.
100%, and obviously it's evident to see that you are still keen to learn. Like, there wasn't like any moment there where it's like, like going through the motions. You're like, I am doing this, and I know why I'm doing that, and I need to change this, I need to do that. Is this possibly because of the period you're in, the most frustrating part of being a fighter, whatever level you're at, the fact that you're here dedicating yourself, dieting, you're in good shape as everyone can see in the gym, but because there's not that date, that goal, is it almost like, do you have to sometimes almost put a goal in your head kind of thing, as if to say, look, I'm working towards this even though there's nothing set in stone?
Yeah, probably so. That probably over little factors that come into the equation as well, like it's not one career, and you know, I'm made no secret, I'm getting towards back end of my career. Say 26 years, like from amateur and pro. It's a long time getting punched to the head and putting the body through what most boxers put the body through. It's hard. It's very hard. But I also understand that you can't get to where I've been by cheating and cutting and taking shortcuts. And you never stop learning in this game.
Yeah.
You know, obviously in my last fight I came off second best. I was dictating the fight, but could have been better. There's been times when I've dictated a fight and I've won 120, 108 on the scorecards and still criticise myself. So there's always learning in this game, and I think when you look at other athletes in other sports, your likes of your Djokovic's in tennis, or your Cristiano Ronaldo's in football, constantly learning, constantly trying to improve and trying to be better than I was yesterday. And you're like, well, you can't be because you're getting older. But I think if you've always got room to improve, then there's nothing wrong with that.
They always say, like, when you get older, like, you're never going to do the things you could do when you were 20, but you learn how to do things. I'm not saying make a shortcut, but it's that sort of that phrase, working smarter, not harder.
100%, and I appreciate that. You know, I'm 33. I feel absolutely fantastic. You know, I've just seen there. I'm in very good condition. I'm on record, on paper. I'm hitting a load of PBs. You know, my boxing brain feels better than it ever has done, but I know that there is going to be opponents out there who are a bit younger, a bit sharper. And what I mean by that is they might have sharper reactions, sharper speed, you know, better movement, better agility. So what do? You make a few adjustments. You know, Mayweather, when he first started coming through, it was fast, he was on the front foot, he threw multiple combinations. And now a lot of young fight fans out there might not have ever seen that in Mayweather.
They look at the end one, don't they?
Yeah, they look at the end Mayweather, but it's worth delving back in the vault of Mayweather's early stages, and when he first got into the world scene, that was an entertaining Mayweather. Now people say, entertaining Mayweather? No, Mayweather sits on his back foot and just defends, but now that come in his later stages when he knew he couldn't keep up with, so he had to be smart and, like you say, work smarter, not harder.
In terms of where we're at now, obviously this will be probably the most frustrating part of this interview, but we've got to ask the questions. I spoke to you in can't remember what arena it was on a few occasions. Yeah, they're coming together with Leigh Wood. Yes. Leigh had vacated the premises, and then I spoke to Eddie and said, look, they've had a little coming together. What's the plan? I think there's still a big narrative and a good interest in the rematch wherever they do it. City Ground's off the table. He was talking about Manchester and all these other places. It seems to have gone a little bit quiet. I think for the Taylor Catterall one, I saw you there and you were like, could be getting some news soon, and nothing since. And you know, things have happened since then, and I know you want to compete at £130 as well as him. So I suppose the question is, like, if not Leigh, has there been other avenues explored?
I've left that with my manager. You know, that's his job. That's what I pay him to do. Either a promoter, that's their job as well. I know some people like to take to Twitter and Instagram and whatever and become, you know, their own manager and make their own fights, but I'd like to think of myself as an old school, you know, just do my training in the gym, get a phone call, say you're going to fight him, right, fair enough. Unless somebody gives me shit online, and then normally I'm like, yeah. Well, but yeah, just normally we just do my manager and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. I don't know, I am getting a bit frustrated, Matt, because like I say, this is the second time I've been in this position in the last 2 years. You know, when you take me away from the heavyweights are their own commodity, aren't they? Yeah. You know, heavyweights are sexy. It's sexy to go watching heavyweight. You might see a big knockout and the pinnacle of our sport. But aside from that, over here, you know, how many arena shows have I topped? How many world title fights have I been in? Yeah. I've won everything there is to win in boxing. I've not unified, I know, annoyingly, but I've won everything. You know, I've beaten some very good kids. I've been number one in the world for a long time, and you know, I've since come away from all that. But you know, I think 7 or 8 world title fights now. Yeah. You know, I shouldn't be in this position where I'm waiting for a fight, and for 3, 4, 5 times this year, it's been right. We're going to go down this avenue. The situation with Leigh, it's been money, it's been injury, it's been his team is not happy with a fight, it's been over little T's and C's, and then I don't even know where we're up to now, but it's still not come about.
Where's it been left with him then, before we talk about other champions? Because that for me, financially for you both on the outside looking in, and look, you boys both know the money, but yeah, everyone would go financially, commercially, probably ticks all the boxes for you both, and it's a good fight at this stage of his career.
Well, I've had this conversation with yourself many a time, Matt, I've said to many, you know, other journalists and boxing fans, is it a big fight? And everyone looks at me like I'm a fucking idiot. Of course it's a big fight. It's fucking hell, it's a massive fight. But the moments in time this year, it's not been a big fight for the powers that be, whether that be the broadcasting team, whether that be Matchroom. Mm-hmm. It's not been a big fight. They managed to get things sorted and on the table. And at this moment in time, I don't even know where we're at. I don't know what the reason is. I think it's been money, and at times I would give him Leigh shit, but I think he's agreed with his money. Now I'm hearing that he wants more money. Listen, all I know is that I'd be taking a lot less than what I would be in the first fight. And I've seen him do an interview say, well, that should be right though, should it? Because I won first fight. Yeah, fucking whatever. It takes 2 to make a fight, right? And they're not all just going there because you've got fucking a poodle haircut, are they? You know, they're going there because we both made an attractive fight, and that's it. Yeah. He's a cunt. He thinks I'm a cunt, and that's why people want to come and see it. But I am taking, and I've agreed to take a lot less than I would do in first fight, just so I could get the fight over the line. Yeah. But that's where I will last up to. In
the other options, I won't keep you too much longer because I don't want to harp on, but when you look in boxing now, when there's other options, there's a big fight coming up in September, I believe, in Wembley. There's another opportunity for, I think there's going to be another 5v5, whether that's in over here or in Saudi. If you're Eddie and you're looking at you and saying, well, if you're looking at the Queensbury stable, you just had an Anthony Cacace who's just beaten a Joe Cordina. Yes. That's a big fight. That's a great fight. When you look at Cacace's performance, and away from the 5v5, the other world champions, Lamont Roach, who's got the WBA, and Navarrete you've spoke about for a long time, and that'd be an opportunity for you maybe to go stateside. Yeah. So there are other options that, from the outside looking in, you'd say are fairly attractive if you can get yourself in a position for them.
Yeah, most definitely, and I think that's what we've got to do now. We've got to start delving down world title eliminators and stuff like that. You know, that Lamont Roach, I think he's got about 89 bloody mandatory challenges. So he's got to.
I think he has got people knocking on doors. To be fair, now.
He's got to take care of them. I've seen the WBC champ. What's he? Who's that as well? No, WBC one is.
WBC is Shaki Foster. Yeah,
Shaki Foster. I've seen him. He's a cute fighter, but again, I'd be tempted to that.
Fight.
Yeah, great fight. But I feel like someone busy, and take him out of that game plan a little bit.
Another states opportunity.
Yeah, a little bit like Gary Russell Jr. is that guy. But yeah, a British fight. Well, not British, but an English Irish with Cacace. He's. Why not? I think he did absolutely fantastic against Cardina. Boxed really, really well. And then when Cardina were battling back, he kept to his guns, pulled a really good performance out and bit on that gum shield and kept on grinding. I've heard him even mention my name a few times. I've heard him say...
That's a very fan-friendly fight from the outside looking. Could be a fucking banger.
I've heard him say in a few interviews, he can... The Matchroom team can get fucked, but I don't mind that Josh Warrington, so I could fight him. So, listen, I'd happily, put everything to one side for 12 rounds, knock 7 bells out of each other, entertain the crowd, and then have a couple of pints after.
Yeah. Well, look, I think that's, just that fight alone, it's entertainment. If you're from the outside looking in and you're saying, what fight would stand out maybe from the world champions be him, but I know you have ambitions stateside. Look, you want to message the fans just to wrap this off?
Yeah, I just want to say I'm not retired yet. I know a lot of messages keep coming through on my social media and getting stopped in the street. A lot of people asking when the Wood fight's happening. It's out of my hands, guys. It really is out of my hands. I take it tomorrow, but we'll have some news soon. And for this final chapter, just say stick with me and thank you as always.
3-time world champion?
Potentially.
Let's see. Josh, I appreciate your time.
Thank you, mate.